Hello everyone, good evening. Let's wait a little bit. Welcome to this live on Bridges of Light International. We are going to be together 1 hour. Thank you for whoever is here right now for this hour. Thank you to whoever is watching this later on. Thank you to Bridges of Light, of course, and to life. And this evening, we are going to be talking about the key to freedom. What is the key to freedom? It's so simple. It's extremely simple. I mean, literally a child could understand what we're going to be talking about tonight without blinking straight away. As adults, we find it a little bit more challenging to understand what's the key because it's so simple. Now, if any of you would like, please just to write a comment and let me know if you hear me, okay? Because I can't hear myself. I know we are on, but until I see some comments on, let me see, put that phone on. I am never too sure. And sometimes it has happened in the past that I couldn't see the comments. Oh no, nobody wrote anything yet, okay. So let me see. Hello, Mariella. I can see. Oh yeah, that's it. I was watching, I could see that you were on another device. Hello, Chiara. Ciao. Hello. Good evening. Okay, right. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. We are on. We are on. Oh, hello, Wendy. Hello, Stefania. Okay, let me see if I can do this. Right. Okay, you can hear and see fine. Perfect, wonderful. Now, I can tell you a little, I'm going to tell you a little story. And while I tell you the story, think of what is freedom to you? What is your, hello Silvia, what is your definition of freedom? And yes, what is your definition of freedom? And then I'm going to ask you the other questions later on. Okay, imagine there's a prince and a princess, and they live in this beautiful, beautiful kingdom. And they move into this wonderful castle. Huge castle with many rooms, with a huge garden. And what happened is that after a while, they've been living in the castle. For some reasons, they can't get to all the doors that they would like to. In other words, they can't open all the doors of the castle. And as time goes by, you see, they couldn't get, for some reason, they couldn't open one door. The key that they had didn't work. They couldn't open another door. And they ended up being confined in one of 2 rooms of this huge castle. So you can imagine how frustrating that was for them, right? So one day, they had enough. They couldn't take it anymore because they couldn't go out in the garden anymore. They couldn't go to the living room. They were in the kitchen and in the toilet, and that's it. They couldn't go anywhere else. They could literally just survive. And they could go also to a small bedroom. But that's it. So their life was no fun anymore. So they prayed and they prayed and they prayed. And they asked for guidance. They asked God, what have we done? What's happening? please help us, please help us. And after a long while, their prayer, when God answered, an angel appeared in front of them and told them, hey guys, wake up. You don't need to go far to find the key. You have the master key that can open all the room in the castle and all the room in the kingdom right on you. Look at yourself. So what they did, they looked down like this, and gosh, and they had the key attached to them. Literally, it was hanging from their neck. They had it with them all alone. They never had to find it anywhere. This is simply to point out that the key to freedom, the master key, we have it within ourselves. There is no need to go and find it anywhere else. There is no need to look anywhere else. We've got it. We've got it here. And this evening we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about how can we free ourselves. But let's define freedom. And also, I want to also, it's important that we define something else. When I talk about freedom, when I talk about living, when I talk about well-being, when about being free and living peacefully, I mean living in a state of serenity, okay? Ultimately, yes, it is possible truly to be unperturbed by anything that happens to us, although it is possible, but it requires a very, very high degree of awareness and consciousness to be, in other words, to be able to always see the perfection of life, the perfection of the universe. In other words, nothing happens by chance, and if we could see everything, we would know that we wouldn't have any reason, basically, to really be upset. Although that is a very, very advanced state of consciousness. So what I mean by freedom, what I mean by inner peace, it doesn't mean that we're not going to feel pain anymore. We will feel pain. If I leave my finger in a door like I did, you see, it's still black. I must have done it months ago. I don't remember where. But anyway, if I leave my finger in a door, of course it's going to be painful. If somebody I love dies, of course it's going to be painful. If somebody betrays me, of course I'm going to be painful. If I get fired from a job I loved, of course I'm going to be painful. Does it make sense? Although I'm talking about getting free of the suffering, and the suffering is that optional that we create, which it would be after like 3 months I left my finger in the door. I'm still here saying, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh my gosh, that was really painful. Does it make sense? Or a relationship ended and weeks and months, years later, I am still telling myself how terrible that was. Okay, that's suffering. It's different from pain. Pain, it has got a very short space of life. But let's see what you guys think freedom is. Ciao Silvia, ciao Mariella, hello Hanili. Okay, and Mariela says, freedom for me is doing the things I love that make me feel better. Thank you for sharing that. Doing the thing you love, yeah. Hello, Fabiana. Sylvia says, freedom is never to worry about what other people think of your thoughts and actions. Yeah, I like that as well. Mariela, freedom is the wind on my face. Beautiful, the wind on my face, very poetic. Freedom is looking the sea, a beautiful sunset. Yeah, yes. And Sylvia says, freedom is enjoying the beauty of the universe, recognizing our divine essence. Ciao, Sonia. Okay, yes. Yes, freedom, if we look in the dictionary, freedom is to be free from restriction, to be free from anything that could be binding us, that could be restricting us in any way, shape or form. And everything that you mentioned, absolutely, that's freedom. Now, would you say that you are more, that you're freer, okay, that you're freer and more who you truly are when you are angry, when you are upset about something, or when you are at peace? I'll say it again. Do you think that you are freer and who you truly are, more of it, more free and more who you truly are, when you are upset, let's say when you're angry, when you're frustrated, when you are anxious, or when you are in a state of peace, when you are serene, when you are happy? I can repeat again if nobody's writing anything. With this English line, it's amazing. It's like, oh, well, thank you, Wendy. Somebody's interacting. Somebody's alive. Thank you. Both. Wendy says both. Okay, yes, thank you. Mariella says live without mental schedules. Live without mental schedules. Of course, when we feel peaceful, Sylvia says. Okay. Any other takers? I know there's not many of us here, that's true. So, of course, no pressure for the few ones that are on. No, but the reason why I ask for interaction is because otherwise it's not alive. I get bored very easily if I had to talk to myself after a while. In every situation we are ourselves. Okay. Yes, it's us when we get angry, it's us when we get upset, it's us when we're peaceful. It's always us. But when would you say it is who we truly are? And I'm talking, okay, otherwise we are trapped by our negative reaction. Yes, I see where you're getting, Sylvia. But I want everybody, I don't want to say anything. I want to see if what all of us think about this. You see, this is why I like us to think about it. I don't want us, otherwise we can just Google something and, there's a formula. Okay. Oh, yeah. Do you think that our normal, natural state of being is one of joy, peace, excitement, or serenity, or one or anger, aggression, frustration? What would you say? I'll say it again, slowly. Would you think that deep down, I mean, who we truly are, our natural way of being, it's more inclined to be one of peace, excitement, joy, hello Raf, joy, or one of anger, frustration, anxiety, and upset? The second one, okay, Mariella, you think that normally we are more who we truly are. It's something that is frustrated, that is upset, that is angry, that is anxious. Is that what you would say? So Mariella thinks the second one. So the second one I say is somebody frustrated, upset. I'll say it again. Do you think that who we truly are is somebody, or this is one, peaceful, serene, excited, passionate, joyful, or who we truly are if somebody, this is two, angry, upset, frustrated? Yeah, Mariella, you confirmed. You think that who we truly are is somebody upset, frustrated, and so on and so forth. Celia said, for me, when we are at peace, otherwise we give in to feelings opposite to to our deity. So we got two contradicted opinions. Wendy says the first one, okay, I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this because we have got different opinions. Okay. Okay. Do you think, of course, it's a big generalization, this one, mega generalization. Do you think that, hello Paola, hello Laura, Laura said the first one as well. Do you think that children, okay, children, do you think they are more the expression of who we truly are? Yes or no? Well, you can just write yes or not. Would you say the children, kids, are the expression of who we truly are? And by who we truly are, yes, like Sylvia I think mentioned, is about our divinity, our essence. Oh, I'm not carrying on until somebody writes yes or no. Yes, they are. Yes. Okay. Okay. So we all agree, but if somebody doesn't think so, please write it. This is so, so important. Okay. Okay. So given that children are the expression of our divinity, Wendy also agree, thank you. Okay. Are children, of course, again, it's a generalization, like everything I say anyway, you know, there's always, nothing is absolute, and it's only my opinion, so we're only discussing things. But would you say the kids then are more inclined to be, Laura, you think so as well, are more inclined to be, yes, I know what you mean, Mariella, I know exactly what you mean, I know, that's why I want to, yes, Mariella said yes, absolutely, in natural ways, of course, I know what you mean, I knew it, yes. Yes. So, would you say that kids are normally more naturally happy, joyful, passionate, or angry, frustrated, anxious, and worried? Do you think the children are naturally more joyful, peaceful, excited, passionate? Or do you think the kids are naturally, normally more upset, angry, worried? What do you think? Naturally, they incline to happiness. They live in the present. The first one, Mariella says, yes, yeah, okay, yes. The key to freedom is understanding, basically, that the cause of every long-standing upset is our mental conditioning that we have acquired growing up. It depends on the parents. Yes, true, Laura. It depends on the parents. Yes, you're right, Laura, because some kids, in fact, and yeah, you're right. Some kids, okay, normally we see some kids, they are allowed to a certain age to be truly who they truly are and to be joyful, to be happy. And then the parents kicks in and they educate them. Well, it depends on the parents, but you're right. Some parents, even if the parents are very open-minded and they don't condition them much, maybe what happened that they go to school and the teachers and society and the system educate them and cage them, meaning it conditioned them to have prejudices, to judge, to be more thinking about things than being present, than enjoying themselves. They are trained to think how other people want them to think, and they're not really trained to, or stimulated to ask themselves, how do they feel about life? What is their opinion? No. In school, still nowadays, children are taught how to learn something like parrots and then to repeat what they have learned. Having said that, things are changing, but it depends. But yes, Laura, like you say, it depends. If some parents are very strict, these kids, even before they go out in society, they are already very limited. They already haven't even had the opportunity to have a taste of real freedom, because real freedom is authenticity. Real freedom is being who we truly are. But this freedom, we haven't had the chance, I don't think any of us, to really savor it for a long time after we were born. But let me read what you wrote, because I want to carry on from your comments. Mariella says, we should take example from them. In each adult there is a child. Yes, I agree. Adults are gods, literally. Every kid is the incarnation of the divinity. And then this divinity gets put aside, and instead of the divinity, the educated, human, trained and conditioned part comes in. When you say divinely one, humanly two. Yes, yes. But we don't see, no, we don't. Kids always say the truth and what they think. Yes, exactly. And we live in a society, unfortunately, where the truth is considered to be dangerous. Can you believe it? That the truth, hello Francesco, that the truth can be unsettling. But yes, they're right. The truth can be unsettling. The truth can hurt, but the truth free us. Wendy says, how do you think it's going to be for children who have to wear masks in school now? Well, I personally don't think it's going to be enjoyable. I personally don't like wearing a mask. I really don't. Hello, Titi. I don't like wearing a mask. I wear it when I really have to, out of respect, of course, for other people. But I really don't see the utility. When you wear a mask, you're gonna be breathing your own air, full of carbon dioxide. I don't think it's very healthy. I really don't know, and I don't think anybody really knows to what extent wearing a mask it's really useful or not. So if it's really useful, of course, maybe there's a reason why they decided that people have to wear masks, maybe. But I don't think that it's going to have a positive impact on children to wear masks. Absolutely no. And I think that's the sad part of all of it's happening here. Because I truly believe that what is happening here, it's the manifestation of our conditioning, basically, our mental conditioning. And this has gone so far as limiting our freedom. In other words, we are so culturally, humanly, we are so conditioned, we are so caged in, we are so full or should or shouldn't or judgment and so on and so forth, and we are still so feeling that it's me against you, or it's me against nature, or it's me against the virus, then now we have manifested the biggest, most tragic Hollywood movie that could have ever happened. Because our collective mind, our race consciousness, creates We are all individual creators, but we create collectively. And look what we have created. By going back to children, I think they are paying the price for what the conditioning of previous generations have offered the world. So no, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be hard for them. When you say you're talking about body language, yeah, well, it's gonna be it's gonna be one more barrier for them. If you can't see somebody, if you can't see the whole face of someone, I think you're forced. What happens is you are forced to rely more on what you hear and less on what you see. But the trouble with relying on language when we hear, it's that we rely on getting information which is not so present, it's not so pure, it's information that is already being filtered by our mind. And because language and words, they are not really organic things, they're not real. Do you see what I mean? They may convey the truth, but they're not the truth. It's very different if you can see, for example, well, you could tell I'm smiling maybe from my eyes, but not everybody is the same. But let's say, if you can't see that I'm smiling, you're missing a big part of the communication between us. Does it make sense? And it's much different for me to tell you, I am feeling happy, or showing you my happiness. So I think that we are going, if children got used to wearing masks, we are reinforcing what is already happening culturally, which is reinforcing a culture of less organicity, less contact, less presence, less directiveness, and more of a filtered and programmed and programmed and educated kind of communication. Do I make any sense? And of course, if we were going down the road of masks and no contact for a very, 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 very long time, I think we could literally develop humanly in a completely, totally different direction. I'm not here to say what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong. Absolutely not. But the way I see things, I think we are first and foremost animals, and as animals, we are instinctive by nature. We like to show things. We don't like to hide things, feelings, or anything of that kind. So every time I put something that is not needed, which is a barrier between me and somebody else, of course, I don't think there's any good coming out of this. But the other side of the coin, of course, that's why I don't want to keep going on and on about this, because some people will say, you are irresponsible, because it's true. Of course, if it's true and somebody believes that a face mask is what can save the planet, well, Luca, it's outrageously unconscious. It's outrageously selfish. And it could be viewed that way. You see, that's why I'm saying, I'm just telling you what I think. I'm not saying it's good, it's bad, because, of course, maybe now it's needed. I don't know. But virus apart, I don't think it's a great thing to teach kids to hide themselves, to hide their face. Of course not. Sorry. Wendy says, baby learn first of all from the facial expression, yes, you're absolutely right, of the mother, father, etc. Without that, which is going to happen from such an early age? Yeah, but Wendy, that would still happen. I don't think there would be a disaster, Wendy. If a really little kid wasn't allowed to show his face or to see or his mom's face, yeah, that would be disaster, Wendy. You're right. You know why? Because children, for them, yes, it's vital. Children learn how to know what emotions they feel because of the mirror neurons, but also because their mom, and we all do it instinctively. Think about it. It's a very subconscious inbuilt mechanism we have. When we look at a child, the child does it anyway because it's ingrained in him. He has to do to learn. He mimics us. If you don't, whatever you do to a child, try very small. Normally he does it or she does it because he mimics. But also something else happened. The moms do it straight away. Think about it. If the kid is like sad, we do it. We go, oh, we do the same. And also, but it's good, there's a reason to do that, because the kids, we are mirror for the kids, like all life, but for the kids even more. So they can see what they do in our face, and it's reflected back to them. Do I make any sense? In fact, if a kid was very little, was brought up without any human contact and without anybody that was explaining them or showing them how they're feeling and so on and so forth, they could become not able to recognize their emotion. In Italian we say alessitimici diventerebbero. Anyway, the consequences would be really damaging. So yes, Wendy, I really hope will never get to the point where kids or people that educate the kids, they would have to wear a mask, because yes, that psychologically would be very, very, very damaging. Ciao Eleonora. Mariella says, I put on a mask. I tell you, you're so amazing, but I don't think so, really. Yes, you're right. That's the trouble with mask, because with mask, if people want to tell something that they don't mean, it's so much easier, isn't it? Ciao Barbara. Hello, ciao, welcome. It is so much easier. You're right, Mariella. With the mask, you could really almost say anything, unless you're really laughing or sad. The eyes can really, the eyes express a lot. But the other part of the face would say much more, much more. And you know, talking about conditioning and all that, do you think, because there aren't many anymore, but from the little ones that I have read about, or the little bit that I studied about them, I have an idea, but I'm asking you what you think. Do you think that the cultures that are more primitive, let's say, the Aborigines, like in Australia, or the Indians in America, or in Africa, the tribes in Africa, would you say that they are more or less serene and peaceful than us? I'm not talking about comfort of living. I am not talking about living comfortably. I'm not talking about having, of course, commodities we have. I'm talking about emotionally. Would you think, what is your opinion? Would you think they are more at peace with themselves and their own life, or they're more stressed? Mariela says, I demonstrate you to be afraid of yours, but I hate you. I demonstrate you to be a friend of yours, but I hate you. Yes, with the mask, that would be much easier. That would be much easier. And if we wanted to create a culture where spontaneity and instinct are considered to be bad, some people would even find that useful. You know? In fact, there are people that they think that to be animalistic, to be animals, to always express what we feel, how we feel, when we feel it, it's not good. That we are superior beings and we should take control of our emotions. And that's where the way I feel and the way I think, sometimes it's not viewed as being correct, or you could say, or you know. But I can't think of any healthier way of being able to express ourselves in any circumstance. I truly believe, and that's why I always mention about judging and conditioning. If we were able, and it is possible, to express ourselves without judgment, without judging anyone, ourselves or others. And maybe their action if we want, but maybe if we want to really go deep enough, not even their action, but express our upset right there and then. Guys, we would be very healthy, and other people would be healthy too, I can assure you. Because if I don't tell you F-O when I am upset because of something you did, that energy stays in, and I say, no, it's okay, and I'm thinking, you, whatever, and the energy is there, and it's eating inside me, or we'll be eating our relationship, or we'll be eating something else. But if I let it out, if I say, do you know what? Bah, da-da-da. That's it, gone with the wind. And we're friends again, like kids do. Sorry, but let me read what is it. Sirius says, excuse me. They feel a much stronger bond with nature, so they feel happier. I think so too. Yes. Mariella says, more of course, more happier. They are happy with nothing. They always smile to life. Yes. Because, you know, we talk about being spiritual. We talk about being deep. We talk about being superior. We talk about being divine. But they're all concepts. Bananas. We have forgotten who we truly are. Who cares? They're concepts. If we were able to simply be present and enjoy the moment, enjoy life, like enjoying now, I'm enjoying being with you, and you maybe being with me, and whatever else we do, that's it. Who needs anything else? Nobody. But we're so full of things, mental things, that we don't need. Let's do a little game together. And the reason why we do this little game is because our life often, and truly always is, when we are upset, meaning when nothing is happening organically. So nobody is threatening our physical well-being, or taking away food while we are starving. So if these two things are not happening, meaning nothing factual is happening to harm us, to put our life into danger, and we are upset, it is always because of our mental conditioning, and always because of our interpretation. And interpretations of something may be remembered, or something that we see, or something that could be in the future. It's always something arbitrary. Everything which is mental, it's an interpretation. That's why also I think it's not good if we start living always with mask, and we always rely on hearing or language, because language is not real. It's an interpretation of something. Okay. Now, do this with me. Look at something, anything, and like for example, I'm looking at this glass, right? Instead of looking at, because what happens, right? Whenever we look at something, we think glass. And sometimes we haven't even looked, we don't even give us time to really truly look at the glass, you see? What happened? We look at it, we know what it is, glass, our mind says glass, and then that's it. We know what it is, but we haven't actually seen it. You know what I mean? We actually don't take the time to look at what it is and how it is, because we only see the concept. And we do that with situation, we do that with people. We stop at our mental image of it. Okay. So, but look at something like, for example, let's look at this glass. And now let's pretend we don't know what its name is. And let's pretend we are choosing what its name, Because ultimately, this is just to have us to realize, ultimately, this is not a name. This hasn't got a name. This is what it is. But it hasn't got a name. Somebody chose to say it's a glass. So we all said, okay, yes, we call it glass. But we could call it now car, banana. We could call it tarapu, PPP, takalakapo. Are you with me? Are you with me? Look at something else. I'm looking at the computer. I could be calling it chakata, rakate, fafafu. It seems funny, but this is important. And everything, think about it, it has a name, not because it intrinsically has a name. It has a name because someone just thought, okay, I'll give it a name. And of course, because it's easier, everybody says, okay, we call it like that. But this is when we understand what's driving our life. We do the same when we think of a situation. For example, somebody raises their voice. Oh, unpolite, angry, chang. We look at the form, at the label, and we don't look at the person anymore. We don't try to understand what's going on. And like, yeah, we just stop there. We lose our job. We don't see another way. We don't look at something beyond it. We think tragedy. I'm unlucky. But these are all labels. These are all names that we have been conditioned and thought to believe. Do I make any sense? But when our mind, which is not stupid, understands that, but actually not even our mind, where we understand who we are creators. And we know that I call this glass because I am choosing not to be a rebel, regard this. Why would I want to be a rebel, regard the glass? So I say, yes, it's a glass, fine. But it could be parababoom, parapapong, banana, whatever else. Okay. And the same applies for the loss of job, for the end of a relationship, or somebody that broke in and stole something where I am. Are you with me? I have the power to interpret it in any other way I choose to. And this is the real power. This is getting over the conditioning that we have learned and then that we live by. And our life is driven by all this conditioning. Every time we get upset, again, when nothing is happening, it's because we have been conditioned, we have been trained to worry, not to be present, and to worry about something that happened or it could happen. But nothing is happening. So why are we worrying about? Because we've been trained to worry. We've been conditioned to worry. And I'm just here saying, show me the... We live of interpretations. We live of stories. This is it's like a torture for somebody that is not getting this and maybe is upset. But something very functional sometimes if you can do it long enough. If you really can, for some people we don't have time and we should do some longer training, but if somebody tells you, this is terrible, okay? Or when you find yourself say, this is terrible. Okay, I would ask you, show me terrible. I don't know if I was clear enough, but I'll say it again. You might be saying, oh, but this happened, that person was rude at me. Okay, this person was rude at me maybe yesterday, not even now, in the post office. And he or she say, oh, that's terrible. And I'm here to say, show me terrible. Can you? No. Why? Because terrible does not, and I repeat, terrible does not exist. Terrible exists in your mind. It's a word. It's a memories. You are hallucinating. This exists. This is a glass. I could throw this glass on my head and the water would get me wet. So there's no argument about this. But there is an argument about, that's outrageous. Really? Really? We talk about it. We look at it at a different angle. I get you present. I get you to change your mind in whatever way I can. And in maybe an hour time, from being outrageous, that was amazing. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? And I'm here to say, show me terrible. Show me amazing. But amazing is always there. Amazing is who we are. We are not born terrible. We are not born outrageous. We are born amazing. We can feel amazing. And other people can feel amazing. True, we can feel terrible and other people feel terrible. But the difference is that there's not effort in feeling amazing unless we are being conditioned otherwise, unless we add something to the present moment. To make the present moment terrible, something must happen that I judge it, or something must have happened, which literally is a mental image, that I have judged and I still judge as negative. If I don't add anything to what is happening, even if it is painful, because some things are painful, even if somebody comes in now and throw a brick on my head, yes, that probably would be painful, yes. But painful doesn't mean that I have to suffer. I would go, ouch, and the pain would be there. But if I don't add anything, if you don't add my story, if I don't say, you are terrible, this is terrible, this shouldn't have happened, well, the pain does its course and I am amazing again. Can you see it? Can you feel it? It is that simple. And did anybody write anything? Yes. Wendy says, yeah, allow and express both polarities without judgment. Yeah, Wendy, that's exactly what I mean. We have polarity. Our emotions goes from being, let's say, outrageously angry to being fantastically ecstatic. And unless we allow ourselves, at least to ourselves first, to say, fucking hell, I am feeling like shit, I'm really angry. Unless I'm able and willing to do that, and even with others, why not? Did I judge anybody? No, of course, excuse my French, I say fucking, and so what? Let's get over this. But unless I'm willing to, I'm allowing myself to express that fully, I won't be able to express joy fully. Because the system doesn't only work one way. So this is to say that people, what they do out of or being polite, of course, they think, ooh, you shouldn't say something, you shouldn't express your anger, you should keep it in, you should smile even if you feel to say fuck off. That's really dangerous, that's damaging. If you keep doing that, well, if you do it once in a blue moon, okay. But if you keep doing that, what happens is that your system would not allow you to fully express joy or laugh, a big laugh. And then you may feel in a happy context and you should feel joyful, but something is not quite right. Something is not happening because the mechanism is jammed. You don't allow yourself to express your upset. Well, the system doesn't allow yourself to feel your joy. Do you see what I mean? It is a dangerous game, the one of being polite. Very dangerous game. Anyway, ciao Manuela. But what I'm here saying, because I don't want to say, what I'm here is that we can express, and excuse, I say sorry if I offended anybody if we say fuck, but you see, because some people might really get offended by that. Wasn't my intention. But what I mean is that we can even express that and not even say that word, but we can still say, banana, for funny sake. Okay, when we accept to, but you see, even it's difficult not to judge. It's very difficult not to get the judgment word is. It's a mega challenge. When we accept to submit our style of life to a different mentality, of course. When we accept, I don't know what you refer to. When we accept to submit our style of life to, yes. Well, definitely, if I don't know what you mean, Mariella, but yes, if we acquired another mentality instead of our own, it becomes dangerous. But if we know that we have acquired a mentality which is not functional, then if we choose another mentality, that could be healthy. Marie say yes. Sylvia say, you feel amazing? That's wonderful. I'm glad. Keep on doing that. Marie say, if we don't add our script to the situation. Yes, exactly, Marie, exactly. If we didn't add any script, things would just happen. Things would happen, we're present. Somebody says, you're wonderful, and I go, oh, thank you, that's beautiful. That was nice. Somebody throw me a tomato, and I say, oh, okay, well, I didn't really like that, but okay. But that's gone, You see what I mean? And life happens in moment by moments anyway. It's us that makes the movie. But the thing is that while we're making our movies, life is gone. We missed life. And we're looking at the movie, we're looking at our stories. Mariella says, accept to stay passively submitted, such as a dependence because we think not to be able to live alone, to think on our own. Oh yes, yes, I see what you mean. Yes, you're right. We acquire other people's mindset, others' mentality. Yes, so we stay passively submitted and we create a dependence. Yes, because we think we're not able to think alone. We don't think on our own. Yes, and we are afraid, you're right, we are afraid of being left alone. Because you know what happened? Whenever we know that to belong to a group, let's say to belong to humanity nowadays, you have to conform. If you think in a different way, you feel guilty. You instantly feel guilty. They throw you out the group, out of the tribe. And nobody wants to be left alone outside. Even though sometimes if the thinking of the group, it's not functional, it's not pro-life, it's much better to be out of the group, let me tell you. Maybe it's a bit chilly at first, but there's an aliveness that is not in the group. In the group, yes, you may have company, but what kind of company is it? Marie says, I'm amazed how some seem to need to make a drama out of absolute nothing, and they thrive on this drama. Who is really words and words? It is not real. Yeah, Marie, there's people here, exactly, they live all their life, and literally all their life, in their head, in the stories. And they don't know what reality is. They literally don't know. Their reality is their drama, is the story. And it's not real. Yes. Ciao, Daniela. Yes, because we feel afraid. We feel afraid. And because we feel afraid of thinking something different. Because if we think something different, we are judged negatively. We are thrown out from the group. We are thrown out from the peer group. In the comments, I'm going to leave you I'm going to leave you the pictures of, one is called The Key to Freedom. And I invite you, The Key to Freedom, I'm going to talk a little bit now because I would like you to put it into practice. And literally it says, and then the other one is the invite. It's something that I invite you to do also every day. I'm serious, every day, and then see what happens. And if you do it, if you constantly do this, you put into practice these invites, I would love maybe in the future to notice if anything changed, because these invites, they are powerful if we put them into practice regularly. Otherwise, they're completely useless. So the key to freedom says, every time you feel an emotion that you do not like, reflect on these words. The cause of my upset is what has happened. No. I am the cause of my upset. No. The cause of my upset is the mental interpretation and judgment that I am now questioning. Yes. The key to freedom lies in the understanding that every upset is the product of a negative judgment. But here again, it depends what situation. And also, if you feel upset, stay with the upset and honor the upset. If something has just happened, that could well be an organic upset. What I'm talking here is if you are mentally thinking of something or an emotion comes up because you thought of something and nothing is happening here, you will see then that it's your judgment, it's your conditioning. Do I make any sense? But if we start by seeing that, we start getting rid of lots and lots of upsets that we have control over, that we have created. But again, you have to try these things out. Otherwise, because the effectiveness of this kind of work is in the doing them. Because you could hear them from me and you could say, some people must say, oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. Some people will say, who cares? Some people will say, oh yeah, that's interesting. That may be true. Or maybe even say, yes, that's true. But unless they try them themselves, they put it into practice, they don't really realize how conditioned they are. And they don't realize how every time that they get upset is because they are conditioned or they train themselves to think in a way. But when they start questioning the way they think and they think in a different way, everything shifts. And then I leave you the invitation, but the invitation is a bit long. I'm not going to read it now. Marie say, it's not what happens, it's our personal interpretation of it. Yes, exactly. Yes. It's never what happens to us. It's how we respond or react. Lorella say, I understand everything. Thank you, Lorella. Let's do it. Yes, let's do it. Yes, but Marie, exactly. It's never what happens to us. It's how we respond. But our soul, our essence, respond. When we are conscious and present, we respond. Response comes from responsibility. To be able to respond means I know I have a choice, so I respond. I take responsibility of how I respond to this situation. It's very different from reacting. The soul, the spirit responds, the ego reacts, unless it's a very aware ego. But a very aware ego is what we have to work towards. But normally an unaware ego, what does it do? It reacts, it doesn't respond. It reacts as a machine. A reaction is literally, it's like a chemical reaction. It's something automatic, mechanical, physiological, so to speak. It's not something that you have a choice in the matter. Does it make sense? And many people nowadays still think they don't have a choice or say it in the matter. They think that if somebody kicks you, you have to kick them back, or at least get angry or whatever. But who says so? Who says so? You can ask them, are you okay? Are you okay? Anything I can do for you? Can you see the difference? And you say, I didn't really like the fact that you kicked me, there must be a reason. Can I do anything for you? Should we talk about it? Can you see the difference, you see? The first is a reaction, like the kicker is going, fuck. And the second one is, it's going deeper. Okay, hey man, oh, that hurt, but what's wrong with you? Anyway, guys, is it time? I can't see the time. Yeah. Oh, the hour is gone. Ciao Loredana. Thank you very much, everyone. We are gonna see each other. What day is today? Oh my gosh. It's Wednesday. We're gonna see each other Saturday afternoon, and we are gonna be talking about, if I'm not mistaken, about problems and opportunities. Problems and opportunities. Thank you very much. I love you, and I wish you a great evening. Thank you. Ciao.